Welcome to Chaptown, chaps, the best place to stare straight into the time vortex and admire the subtle complexities of the grand simulation. We'll tell stories, go on tangents, descend into delusions of grandeur, and once in a while discuss something relevant. I'm Nick.
I'm John.
I'm Casey.
I'm Anthony.
I'm Jordan.
And
we're Chaptown.
Okay, cool.
So cringy.
Culty.
I love it.
Yeah. Okay. So back to Free Willy. So we rabbit holed harder on it. We watched the movie. We actually watched it afterwards, and
In double speed.
yeah, we sped it up. So we watched it in fast forward, which I would say much better than I thought it would be. I guess. No, it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
But, but anyway, they actually freed him in real life afterwards.
Kiko.
Yeah, his name was Kiko, and then it created a movement, and everybody was like, we actually need to free Willy. So remember when I was joking about, like, they probably just, like, they freed him in the movie, but, like, it's fucked up because they then recaged him and brought him back. No, they actually let him go, and guess what happened? He just dies immediately.
Yeah. Oh my
gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So yeah, they
I already forget that entire movie, just so you know.
Oh, yeah.
I know we watched it, and I'm supposed to, like,
Was it at
talk
SeaWorld?
about it, but...
No, it was like some off-brand Mexican SeaWorld, and that's where he actually came from. It's like Mexico City or something.
Was he born in captivity, and that's why he died immediately?
I think they captured him.
They captured him.
But they then
Name's Kiko, though. Was he adopted?
wait.
Not a very Mexican name.
Neither is Willy.
That's true. Yeah. And then so they captured him, and then they ended up he grew up in captivity, I guess. And then they spent tons of money. They got like millions and millions of dollars. Like the whole world was like throwing.
Yeah, they
money
made a
at this.
foundation
Yeah,
for
and
him.
they wanted to retrain him to live in the wild, and it failed miserably. I guess
They spent $20 million.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Built him a
That's
gigantic
ridiculous.
tank and threw him into it, and then I guess they tried to show him how to hunt and stuff, and
With spears.
yeah.
With a harpoon. So simple. You just need a boat and a harpoon.
Yeah,
Come
he
on,
doesn't have
Kiko.
arms. How's he going to use this? But they
They did. They were successful. He lived for 5 years.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
He
They lived to
actually lived for quite a
110.
while.
But
I may have been quick to the died
Yeah.
immediately. But it wasn't as good. Like they said that they thought it would be like a cinematic end to his life or whatever, which
Yeah.
I guess it was, but it was in the wrong vein, I guess.
Mm.
He went out, and then they had him. They tried to isolate him and stuff, so like you could no longer talk to him. After the funding dried up, they're like, there's no money to talk to him anymore or hang out with him. So they just, that like if he showed up to one of their research vessels, they were instructed to not look him in the eye.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
shoot flares at him.
Yeah, no. And then
Fuck off, Kiko.
And then they just so they would show up to check on him, and they would just ignore him. And he couldn't, they tried to get him to reintegrate with his pod or whatever. But he probably couldn't fucking speak.
Yeah. He
whale
never
or
learned to speak
whatever.
well.
So
Yeah,
it was
so-
a 5-year descent into depression.
Yep. Yeah.
And
Madness.
he just
Where-
gave up eventually.
Into pneumonia.
Yeah, and then he eventually
Yeah.
died of pneumonia. He could barely hunt and
Suicide,
stuff.
yeah.
And like they said, he would show up in like harbors and try and do tricks for people to like get them
Oh
to hang
my
out with him.
God.
And then, but people were instructed to just not do it. And then he just he was ousted by his pod, so he lived like super far away from them, but he would like follow him around. And then he just died of depression, basically.
Was all this like after the credits?
Yeah,
This was all extra
this
footage?
This is what actually happens when you free Willy. Like, and the other interesting thing we found was that there's not 3 but 4 movies, and the fourth movie was exactly how you described. They just had they had a girl as the main character. And it was a straight to TV movie or something, and like, yeah. But
We didn't watch that one.
We didn't watch that one. But I'm
Bring
sure
Willy back.
I'm
With
sure it's
straight
good.
to
Really for it,
TV,
bring him
did they
back so
still
they don't
use?
die.
Bring him back.
It's time.
Heartbreak.
Did they still use Kiko, or was it like they had a budget they had
I
to
don't
get a
know. He
budget
might have been
porpoise.
dead by
Like,
then.
Get a new one.
just CG him in.
No, they
You gotta-
they had to use him though because like
No, they couldn't have.
They were ignoring
was he
him.
didn't they free
They
him?
cut him off.
When did they free him though? Was it 10 years later? I can't remember.
Oh.
Like
He was still not like an actual performing whale during that whole time. Like
Oh,
after
really?
the movie,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
they moved him to Oregon or something. Or
oh yeah, they flew him out of there or whatever.
so who did they use in the fourth movie and the
Probably
other movies
some
actually?
robot.
We didn't look into that.
Go to.
Yeah.
A robot whale.
CGI. Yeah.
They could have used a robot the entire time. Is the thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
it was
Yeah.
Jurassic Park era. You know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So weird though. Like they went for the fourth money grab and then
What they use in Jaws? A real shark?
A
no, that was a
robot.
robot. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's really hard to train great white sharks to
Well,
be around.
I mean,
actors.
they just they're doing tricks with him, just putting your hand in his mouth and feeding him. Jaws.
So just pat his tongue and he'll get used to it.
His name is Frico. So good.
oh no,
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, no, it was.
that's depressing.
So sad.
well,
Pretty,
Yeah.
actually,
pretty cruel.
like
SeaWorld still has orca whales, I guess.
Like,
So that was
okay,
fun.
good.
like
Yeah.
we read it though, and then like I was like, oh, this is hilarious. Like they actually freed him and he died, and I was removed from the situation. And then we watched an actual video about it, and I felt pretty bad.
Yeah.
Well, it was tough, you know. Yeah. But
It's the tragedy of fame, really. It's
yeah.
Mhm. It's isolating.
Isolating.
aren't killer whales supposed to be in cold water?
I believe so, because they're usually
Like around Alaska.
like Alaska and stuff, and then I think down by the bottom of South America and stuff like that, right?
So they just let them into like 85-degree water, and
Oh no!
that have anything to do with it?
Well,
or-
I
don't
guess
know.
they released him in like Iceland, and
He
then
swam there.
That's why
He
it cost
swam-
$20 million.
and then he
That
got
makes
ghosted
sense.
by his pod, and then he just like swam to Norway or something.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then people saw him at some port, and then he was trying to do some quick tricks to
Yeah.
make some friends.
Make a
or
couple
whatever.
bucks.
yeah. And then, like, what's really messed up, the funding dried up and the Humane Society took it over. And then they're like, just don't talk to him.
The
We don't
most
have enough
humane
money
thing
to
we can
look him
do.
in the eye. And this guy, his only friends were humans for his entire life.
Yeah.
And then they put him into this, like, huge space and they're just like, that's like, if you didn't know English and then they just like you're like grew up in a cage and they just threw you into a like into New York City or something, and they're like, why isn't he finding his pod?
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, like, feral humans never learn to talk.
Yeah,
Until, like
yeah.
6 or something.
Oh yeah, I've read some crazy stuff about some of them too. Like there's some
Yeah.
yeah
Yeah.
some kids and stuff back in the day.
The
like
Jungle Book, like the
1800s.
original Jungle Book story, isn't that about?
Yeah, it's based on a guy in India. He was raised by wolves, I guess. And
And
they
the talking bear.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love that bear.
They didn't take any freedoms with the story.
They were all cartoons also.
Yeah.
And they spontaneously broke out into musical numbers.
All the time. Yeah. That's what it's like deep in the jungles of India.
They're actually still getting royalties. That's how they live.
Yeah. That's how the Bollywood movies, like I think their movies in general.
Fully funded by the Jungle Book.
Yeah.
Royalties.
Man.
I've been meaning to watch one of those. Bollywood movie. Clips look crazy.
Yeah, the clips look insane. They're all like musical numbers and stuff, basically, right? Yeah.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of something else.
What
I'm thinking of the
is a
action
Bollywood?
ones.
I
There's
think.
like action ones they have
Oh
that
yeah.
are just
Yeah, where they, like, the main character will spontaneously grow like no exaggeration, 1,000 arms with machine guns. And
Yeah.
and like,
That's crazy.
yeah.
No, I,
badass.
I did see some of there's some crazy sci-fi movie like that with it's like some sort of weird train or something, and they had a bunch of crazy effects, but none of it none
Pretty
of
sure
it really
that's
made any
every Indian action movie though. Like they're all completely insane.
sense. Yeah,
like,
they just go for maximum.
Crank
of
2,
everything.
but they're like Crank 2s for pussies.
Yeah. Crazy.
I'm in a strange spot with foreign films because overdubbing the talking always sounds like shit because people don't talk like they do in that. I don't understand that. But also I can't read fast enough to keep up. So I'm uncultured.
You just put it into half speed and then read the titles.
That's not a bad idea.
Sounds like a terrible idea.
Just turn a cool 90-minute film into 3.5 hours.
Yeah. Well, if you want the whole experience.
Just learn to speak Korean. It'll be good.
Yeah.
Use Google Translate.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so the bad overdubbing can be done by a robot at that point.
With no
A
emotional
10-second
tonality.
delay.
Yeah. No emotion. It's just like...
It might be better. I don't know.
Might be.
Yeah.
So that wraps up Free Willy.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Let's see.
We couldn't
Moment of
talk for an
silence.
hour about Free Willy again. So.
No, yeah.
Nick's like, that ends Free Willy. He's done.
Forever. Forever.
He's not coming back.
Yeah. Until he does for the 5th movie. Yeah.
Honestly, why not? They've made remakes of everything that was
Oh, yeah.
garbage.
How
so-
It's
much-
coming.
Make it a horror movie.
How much do you think the Free Willy
Free
IP
Willy 5.
costs? Like, could we, once we're famous, make Free Willy 5?
I think we should.
Yeah.
Is
Make
That'd
it
be a
a
goal.
horror movie?
Yeah. Remake it, revamp it.
Comedy horror movie?
Mesh Jaws.
Yeah, we'll mesh
Really?
Jaws. Like, we gotta make him scarier. Like,
Yeah.
he's,
Willy's Revenge.
Willie's Revenge. He comes back. Yeah. For the kid.
And
He's like,
it's actually
done to
it's
me.
actually the spirit of Willy because he's dead.
Yeah.
So he's haunting the people who released him. Actually,
Yeah.
I like
Pretty
it.
I
dope.
like it. That's a good plot line.
Writes itself.
It does.
When do we start filming?
As soon as we got the cash.
Yeah.
we got cameras.
Yeah.
We just need to
We
take
could
a week.
just
We
film
just
it,
got
I
to
guess.
spend like a weekend at the
Yeah.
ocean.
We have one
Yeah, that should be
camera.
fun.
We can go
Maybe
into.
two.
We could go to
Blender.
Atlantic City. It's 3 hours away or whatever. So
Yeah. I say, like, rather than trying to secure a whale, like, we should just go into Blender and make one, like, 3D engineer
Real quick.
the quickest whale we can come
CGI
up
in
with.
the whale.
Yeah.
What if we just go to SeaWorld, kill a whale, and then film the ghost, and then we can just, like, cut that together?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
or
And then
just
what
use
we-
the body of the whale.
Yeah,
You got a
his
good.
corpse.
You got a week
I'm saying
before it
If
explodes.
we're making a movie about a ghost whale, just
Oh,
film
well,
the ghost
yeah.
as it goes
That's
around
true.
killing people. You know it's
So,
going to kill people.
We put electronics in his corpse, animate his corpse. And then we could also.
What part of film the ghost do you not understand? Just film the ghost. Then it's a ghost whale. Great movie.
That works.
I'd watch it.
We are going to have to put animatronics in the corpse to, in the beginning of the movie when he dies and becomes a ghost. So
For the death scene
Yeah.
before we kill him.
Yeah.
We'll kill him in real life, but then so we can control the death scene.
Right.
yeah,
We'll
Gotta make it
animate him.
dramatic.
And then all the servos. He's like,
such good eyebrow movement.
yeah, look at
Look at those eyebrows go.
Really sick facial movement. But then we put all the budget into his facial movement.
Siskel and Ebert said his eyebrows are fucking crazy. I loved it. This
Maybe you
podcast
should-
is too upbeat.
Yeah.
All right.
New York State put out because manual lottery tickets take too much action to go.
Supply
Purchase.
chain.
Yeah.
Coronavirus.
No one wants to work anymore.
And you can't go out and physically get your lottery tickets
With your cigarettes.
because of things. Yeah, with your cigarettes.
Thanks, Cuomo.
Jeez. So instead, you have the convenience of this app, so you can just go into the app and order as many lottery tickets as you want.
Welfare queens
And then-
using their Obama phones
The state gets
to
the
buy
money.
to buy lottery tickets.
So what? Can you buy them with a credit card?
Oh, I'm sure.
You
Yeah.
must.
That's oh my god.
Well, you
Are they
gotta be able to use
virtual
a card.
scratch drops or?
Well, see, that's what I was wondering. Like,
I think it's
just
the Powerball numbers.
They've
yeah.
got to add scratch offs though.
That
They're
would
gonna
be
add
fun.
That would be hilarious.
And you still have to use a penny, though?
When I first saw that, though, I was like,
I've been thinking, scratch
I was
off.
like, is this a scratch off app? Like because you're picking at your screen and you're like,
They have fake games that like.
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, but
That
why
emulate
not
that.
simulate the experience of a scratch off?
And not winning $1 back.
Didn't Robin Hood do that, like with their free stock or whatever?
Yeah, they did.
A little
Yeah,
scratch off.
Scratch it off.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, they were as a pilot program for New York State.
Woo!
Yeah.
That's horrible. I know when I was working at a gas station, you couldn't buy lottery tickets with a credit card. But you could with a debit card.
Okay.
But I think other states you can buy them with a credit card, and maybe they might have changed it since then too.
Can they tell if you swipe one or the other?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I thought it was just cash. I didn't even know that you could. That's crazy.
Like if you did debit with a PIN, you could do it.
Do they take EBT cards too?
Yes, mostly.
I mean, think about it. You could be turning that 40 cans of food into unlimited food.
I mean,
So
It's free food.
it's a real possibility. That could happen.
How many tickets do
You're canceled.
Stimmy
I
get
just-
you?
I definitely feel like buying lottery tickets is people have gambling addictions, and this is going to be so convenient.
Oh yeah.
People
Yeah.
are going to be broke because of this,
But they'll just be able to sue New York State for it, right?
and that's when
And get their money back. It'll just be
No.
forgiven.
Can you sue the government? I mean, I know you technically can, but
Were
Isn't
those
it-
people
don't
staying
they get-
home? Is that why they made the app? Those
isn't
people
there,
weren't
like-
going out anymore.
Oh, I
like,
think a lot of people aren't going out. Like when we went to.
so that
when
they
we went-
needed that income.
Yeah.
They
We
were
went to
missing
Dune,
it.
there
Oh,
was
wow.
nobody in the
Think of the
theater. It was
children.
very bizarre.
Legalize marijuana.
But
well, do all the proceeds of the lottery go to the school system, or just a portion?
they've never gone to the school system.
Are you sure about
Yeah,
that?
I'm pretty sure the school system's just
It's
the
for
same.
the-
I'm pretty sure we'd have better education.
I'm pretty sure it goes to the school system.
oh yeah, I guess it could.
If only it did.
So they just need to increase the school budget, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Herman Miller chairs.
And when you're
For
buying lotto tickets, you're doing a service to the school.
So
Also-
buy more.
What he mentioned about suing the government too, like how does that work? Like if you, it's like hilarious that you can
A
even
third.
do that.
A third goes to schools.
No.
Where's
Oh,
the rest
okay.
go? Is the rest winnings?
I think King Cuomo gets it.
Okay.
Okay.
Fucking King Cuomo. I've been listening to a lot of AM radio lately. So,
Oh, nice.
You should have lots to talk about then.
no, honestly, it's surprising how much they could talk without saying anything. If you don't know the language, also, it's none of it makes sense. I'm like, I know you're speaking English, but I don't know what you're talking.
So they have
about.
their own like radio speak.
No, it's like memes almost. Like,
Oh, okay.
like if you showed Grandma a meme with like a guy waving and another guy smiling, and it says two things, and you know the inside joke that's supposed to,
Yeah.
you're like,
Okay. Okay.
I was like, it's just words and two pictures. It doesn't even make sense. There's no.
So weird.
I think I just don't have the context of what they're talking about.
Okay. You'd have to listen for 10 years
Yeah,
to get it.
I think
Okay.
so. Yeah,
They're all inside jokes.
yeah, but not funny.
Is all
Angry.
AM
Inside angry.
radio basically the same then, or
So far in my experience, but I've just been scanning around here. I don't think it broadcasts shorter distance than FM, right?
no? I think it's the other way around.
Is it?
I think it goes pretty far because you can get like Bible Belt AM radio and stuff.
Oh, that's right.
Ooh, baby.
Yeah.
A lot of preachers on the AM stations. For sure.
I'm pretty sure whatever one I was listening to this morning was based in New York State because I think they were complaining about Nice Egg.
Which is owned by Spain, right? So
That's
it
what
could
they
have been
said. He was like, Con Ed. Can you imagine if our electric company was called Con Ed? And I was like, what? There's an electric company called Con Ed. And I was like,
Same
oh,
syllables.
because it has the word con in it, and that's
Oh,
upsetting.
Okay.
I love a good pun.
That is kind of funny though. They're New York State Electric and Gas,
It's
Yeah.
bizarre,
but they're owned out of Spain.
Yeah. He's like, well, at least they're not owned by Spain. What's the next? Yeah. I think that was like 10 years ago they got bought
Which is weird because it's a state-sanctioned monopoly. You would think
I
there'd be
think they
some,
just have New York in their name. I don't know how much
Well,
they actually.
but you can't get power from another provider, really, unless
Yeah.
yeah,
It's fine.
yeah.
It's all working against you. Whatever will work against you is.
Well, at least Spain's making out on the deal.
Yeah.
It's sort of
Yeah,
in the same
good
like
for them.
in the same like line of thinking. I don't understand how FedEx can be called FedEx because it's not federal, right? I'm not mistaken, right? It's a private
Oh,
company.
yeah,
That's a good point.
Unless
Bullshit.
someone in the beginning, if it's like a CIA op and it was
Yeah.
federal and they just slipped up in the name, they left it in.
Accidentally.
Shit. It's a big
One day,
flip.
one of the guys is looking
FedEx.
at the side of one of their giant trucks, like, "Oh shit! Oh fuck! We forgot."
Yeah. They're like, it's so obvious though. No one's gonna notice.
No.
Yeah.
Of course, federal ammunition too. Maybe I guess federal's just a word.
Kentucky
Just
Fried Chicken down the street.
Oh yeah. It's not even in Kentucky.
not even
Yeah. And the colonel, he was a colonel of what? Like, what was he? What was he the colonel?
I
of?
didn't read it, but there
Chicken.
is a whole story.
Kentucky
No,
Chicken.
I don't know if I'm thinking of the colonel or I'm thinking of Dave Sanders from Wendy's. There's a whole story about
Dave Sanders was like a drill sergeant or something.
Oh really?
How, oh
Yeah.
yeah. No, you're thinking of
Bill.
The
No,
guy
not Bill
from-
Cosby.
Bill Cosby.
Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers was a drill sergeant. I think Dave was too.
they all were,
Weird.
Everyone was a drill sergeant.
All of them were.
except Colonel Sanders, ironically enough. But stolen valor.
Unless he was a colonel, then it's fine.
Yeah, yeah. So suing the government,
Yeah.
what
how
you
was
were
that?
talking about earlier, like if the government messes something up and you buy too many lottery tickets on your app or whatever, and you
Mhm.
do want to sue them because now your bank account's empty and it was all
Mhm.
EBT cards, and now you don't.
The tone that you said that in, I don't like. Okay.
But so if I bought too many lottery tickets with too little money, and I wanted to sue the government, like
Yeah.
so you get a public defender who's hired by the government. Isn't that a conflict?
I don't think
of
you can
interest?
sue with a public defender.
Really? How does that work?
I don't think so. I think
You
you got to
gotta
hire a
appoint
lawyer.
No, they're
It's done.
defenders.
It's a-
Oh,
Yeah,
they're
so-
defenders.
Yeah.
He's not a public offender.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just sue anyone you want for free. Hey,
Public
New York,
offender.
I need a lawyer over here. I got to sue someone.
Yeah.
Probably public prosecutor should be a thing, though.
Yeah, why not though? Because
Isn't that what your district
They
attorney
only
does?
prosecute the public.
Yeah, because like, so if you're being sued by the government, then and then you get a government-appointed public
Do
defender.
you get sued by the government?
I don't know.
I
What,
think they just give you a bill, right?
like what? Yeah, if the government is
They just decide and then
If
give
they're-
you a bill. I
if
don't
they're
think they
doing
have to sue
something
you.
to
Yeah.
So they give you a public defender, and then that guy can like he's under their payroll and he works for the government. So how much does he really care about your case? I guess like is
I
that
don't think he cares about
He took an
anyone's
oath.
cases ever.
No.
But yeah,
take
he
I'm
an oath.
pretty
promised.
sure
Yeah.
a public defender only cares about his case where he's the defendant, because I think that's how it
Yeah.
usually pans out. Like
Okay.
he's like, "All right, your case is over. Step out. It's time for me to defend myself for my DWI."
Okay, because I was just wondering how that whole thing, how it works, and if there's like, it just seems like there's a conflict of interest somewhere in there. But yeah, I don't know if you.
I think that's probably why you can't sue the government with a public defender. They were like, well, we want to let you, but there's a conflict of interest.
Conflict of interest. He's like, these guys pay me. I can't. I'm sorry. Yeah.
They
But
tried. You technically can, but just every time someone tries, they're like, I can't. I don't know.
I don't
Conflict
know.
of interest.
Sorry. But public offenders should be a thing. And I think if they had them.
I'm pretty sure they exist and they have to go door to door when they move to a new
Yeah.
neighborhood.
Yeah, that's what those are.
I think that's what your district attorney or the attorney general does, right? They hold the government accountable for things that they might do wrong. They're
Oh.
supposed to.
I think, I guess in a case, you would go to them and then, right?
I think
I
so.
really
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
think they're your attorney general is the one that's going to prosecute them for.
So he's the offender.
The attorney general is the public offender. I don't know. I barely even know what Congress is. Like, you get into the weeds with attorney generals, you know?
So, no, that's definitely something that we need to get a guy on. There's got to be public offenders.
Jordan's our guy, it sounds
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
Jordan
And
knows
if
the
DA
most
is not
about
on it, somebody will be.
the AG.
Stay tuned in the next episode where we come back with more information on that.
Chaptown.
Yeah.
Attorney at law.
AG, DA. We got it all. Coming up. Keep it tuned to AM 4879186. We got it all coming up.
Oh my god.
So many numbers.
So yeah, arcade games used to be 25 cents back in the 70s, and they're still 25 cents now.
Yeah.
And wasn't that like $6 back in the day? Like for
At
each
least,
game?
yeah.
Yeah.
How much was it?
It
Do
has
you
to
actually
be a
know?
lot.
$6.
And the games have gotten better.
So arcades
That's
were
true.
good business back in the day.
Oh, they had to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're probably real expensive back then
They
too.
probably were, yeah.
Well, like
Pinball. That's
Where'd
like
you go
what
get
it
a
was.
arcade machine from? No one. Now, like a high schooler with a Raspberry Pi and a computer screen. It's like, yeah, I can make an arcade.
yeah, yeah. They just rip off all the games and then they're yeah.
It's got all of them.
Yeah.
I knew somebody that restored pinball machines, and it's all like voltage controlled shit. And the little paddles, you could crank the voltage up on them, and all the bumpers, so that it goes like, and it, shoots, it just like
Man.
basically almost breaks the glass, like knocking the
insane.
little ball bearing around.
That would be fun to play.
They would be
Yeah.
really fun to play.
Yeah.
I don't know what winning is in that case, but not getting like glass in your eyes, I guess. But
Yeah. Well, you could use like really strong glass, right?
yeah, I mean, I guess.
Or
They didn't have
plexiglass
it back
even?
then,
It's
though.
Like that won't break.
Bulletproof glass.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Bulletproof.
Yeah.
Kiko glass from the
We should try it.
whale cage.
The well.
Yeah.
Compress Kiko down into glass.
We don't really know that arcade games were always 25 cents, though, right?
No,
I'm a
Were they like a nickel?
Ooh, they might have
That's a
been a
good-
nickel.
Yeah, they could have been a nickel.
Or even a penny.
I know when I was a
Penny?
kid, there
Yeah.
were some that were like, insert 6 quarters.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
now
yeah.
they're
Yeah.
25 cents again.
Which is weird, right?
aren't they like
I think
50
they always
cents or something
reference
like
like quarters, but like
Oh.
my
$1 to
mom's like,
play?
I
They
could
vary,
I could
right?
buy a
How many
candy-
quarters you have to insert?
Yeah.
I could buy a candy bar with.
But also, when
nickel or
your
whatever.
house cost $800,
Yeah.
quarters were you could splurge on an arcade game, I guess.
Also, they tend to use their own tokens.
Yeah,
Like their
nowadays.
own form of currency.
He
Yeah.
just cracked it. Okay, so you bought tokens,
But
and
the-
so one token.
I remember as a kid the tokens
They
were
were-
always
It was 25 cents.
25
Yeah.
cents, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That may have not
Okay,
always
never
been
mind.
the case, though.
Yeah.
Might
that was
not
when
have
that was
been.
in
It
the
has
80s.
been for a long time.
Not when did they come
30
out?
years, right?
70s,
Yeah.
60s.
70s?
70s?
I think the 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pac-Man.
Yeah,
If you go down to Robot City Games, shout out Robot City Games, a sponsor of Chaptown Podcast. But they have some really old ones that are, I think they're from the 50s even. I think they're a quarter.
I still haven't been there. I
Of course,
want to check it
yeah.
out.
Isn't it the largest collection in New York State?
So they say that.
I would
But-
say
It's
that
true
too.
or not.
Yeah. They don't. The private collections don't count.
Yeah. There's got to be some weirdo in New York City with like.
He's just got
Not
a
that it's
mansion,
weird. Not that it's weird to own 600 arcade games.
a
but
mansion filled with arcade games, a warehouse. He's just like, he's broke. He's like, I got nothing left. I can barely feed my family.
Doesn't the quarter only last for like a minute of playtime too?
I
or
think
like,
until you die. Usually.
Yeah.
Oh, so it
Yeah,
could last.
yeah.
Yeah.
It depends on
And
how
that's
good
why
you
it
are.
was like worthwhile to get good at them.
Okay.
Because you can also just pay your way to victory. You just keep
Yeah,
getting
you
more
keep
guys.
fighting. Yeah.
Like,
Get the high score.
Theoretically.
yeah.
But
Capitalism.
like if you, like what happens if you are just pumping quarters in now, and if it fills up with quarters and then it's full. Like and you're what, like let's say you're about to get that high score. Well, I want like there's got to be something weird that happens
Yeah.
there.
You're $375 in. You
Yeah,
got your
yeah.
6 hours. Like,
I don't know. Yeah.
We need an arcade guy.
Yeah.
if anyone listening happens to be an arcade expert, we'd love to hear you chime in. What's our email address?
No idea.
Okay. Well, we'll link.
Right out to no idea.
We'll link it. We will link our
Channel
email
Chaptown.
in the description and shoot us a line.
You made it.
I made like 3 of them. Like, I don't know.
Channel Chaptown
Yeah.
at Gmail.
Why?
And like CDs and VHS tapes,
Mm-hmm.
like they were $20
Yeah.
for one movie. Back
Were
in the day.
VHS
Yeah.
tapes
More.
$20? How much
I
were
think
VHS
so.
tapes?
All 20
They were
bucks.
20
I
bucks.
never purchased a VHS tape, and I doubt
Yeah.
you did. So
Oh, no.
I think my dad
true.
did.
I never
I know.
bought
I got.
one.
I got
I
them.
My parents bought them.
They would be a gift at Christmas.
Yeah.
So it couldn't have been $5.
I
Like,
did buy CDs. They were like
they were $20.
$17.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy. Like
Sometimes they'd be more even.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like if you get
depends on what it was.
More than one
Yeah, the
CD and
Double albums
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I bought a lot of the DVDs from that $5 bin.
I remember-
towards the end.
I remember, and this was a long time ago. I remember like you, myself, and I think Brian. Like it got obsessive about collecting as many DVDs as possible.
I did that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I regret that. I regret that so hard. How many did you guys get? A lot.
I got to 8, I think.
Oh my god! See, I took it too far.
I had Gladiator, the second Matrix movie, but not the first or the third.
Oh, nice.
The original, whatever the first zombie movie was, the
Oh,
really early one from the 30s.
Day of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead.
Something
No,
like that.
no, I think it was more. I don't remember. It's black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
kind of like known for. It was like one of the first movies with a black character that had a
Night-
speaking
Night
role.
of the Living Dead.
That may have been
Ooh.
I
in.
think that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
movie though, but
Yeah.
I mean, one of apparently the 8 movies I cared about. So, I had All Quiet on the Western Front as well.
Oh, nice.
Interesting.
interesting mix.
Yeah.
And I think the second Lord of the Rings.
I spent my
Sucker for
Hollywood video paycheck on DVDs.
Oh.
So that's dumb. I had
Did you get a
unlimited
di-
free
wait,
rentals,
But did
and
you get
I
a discount?
Oh, well, I didn't buy them from there. I'd buy them like. Yeah, no, I know, unlimited free rentals, and I remember spending like half a paycheck or whatever on DVDs, and that's embarrassing.
Where are they all now?
I sold them to Coconuts when you got like $3 per.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, recouped a little bit of money.
I mean,
tried
you
to
got out.
correct
You
it.
got out before it got too late.
Yeah. You don't want to hold those bags for too
No.
long.
I could have had millions by now if I had done that differently. But
Like, at what point do you have to hold a DVD before it starts gaining value again? Like,
Another 20 years?
Maybe, yeah.
they're gonna have to destroy
I
a
don't
lot
know.
of them.
Yeah, that's a thing.
They look so cool when you take them out of the microwave.
Yeah.
They get this. Well, first of all, they look cool in the microwave, and then when you take them out, they have this awesome spider web all over the. And they're probably worth their art at that point, so
Oh my
they're one of a
God.
kind.
Okay.
It's worth even
Yeah.
more than negative money. They're currently worth negative.
sounds like poison, like straight
yeah.
poison.
You only have to do it for like 4 or 5 seconds.
And then
Sparkles,
So when you take
snaps
it
and
out-
crackles.
you're like,
Yeah. Get it straight in. Yeah.
You can't wait. You want to see what you see what you've
Your
made.
head into the microwave. Close the door, get your head in there as fast as possible.
you don't want to waste any of the vapors.
Nope.
Oh man.
I know there's some CDs I think are worth money. I think one thing about DVDs though is that I believe they degrade over time no matter how you keep them. So after like 30 years or something,
Okay.
they just don't work anymore.
Oh
So
wow.
That's smart.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
VHS tapes turn into dust. So
And
Yeah.
mold.
Yeah,
and mold. They get moldy. Yep.
not store them in water.
Well, you would think you'd want to keep them wet.
Yeah,
would
to
think.
keep the film, like the
Moist.
magnetic strip, supple.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you don't want it to dry
Supple.
rot.
Yeah, you don't want it to dry rot. So you submerge it in a nice salty brine. Well, I would store them in the puddle in the basement, but that's yeah.
So were cassette tapes the same amount of money, like $20? You think?
Or the equivalent back then. I don't
Yeah,
know.
back then.
I owned
Right.
one.
But was there a time
I
really
think I
though?
did too.
Yeah.
I mean, records are
Just one.
still
Just
worth
one.
a lot. So
But they also weren't for a long time. They became worth nothing.
right.
But also, were cassettes always available at the same time? Like, records actually lasted a really long time.
Yeah.
Was a cassette always like the downgraded alternative because it was portable, kind of? Like, you
Yeah, I
bought a
don't know.
record because you could listen to it at
Oh,
home,
okay.
but if you actually wanted to listen to in the car or anything like that, you
You
kind of
needed
had to
a
get a
tape.
cassette or
Yeah.
an
I
8-track.
thought, I was gonna say, I thought 8-tracks were along the line, like along the same timeline of records, but I could be
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah, they're like
I
from
think
the
it was
60s or
Records,
something.
8 tracks on cassette tapes, right?
Yeah.
But all kind of close together.
I think records
Sort
were
of.
spanned that whole time period.
did,
though.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like, as you know, there's I remember looking into this at one point because like, people always talk about the sound quality on
Mhm.
vinyl or whatever, but they for a brief point in time they actually made movies on vinyl. They were like laser discs.
Well, yeah.
that were
okay.
vinyl.
Were they vinyl though?
They were vinyl, yeah. Then they
Is that what they use in
How do you
schools?
get video? Like, how do you get the amount of information on a vinyl record that you'd need to watch video?
I don't know.
Is that what they played us in school?
No, those are laser
Those are
discs.
the
Laser
discs.
discs.
And the
what the
only
hell is
laser-
that?
Here's
Is
the
that a
thing:
giant
dumb.
CD?
the only
Yeah.
laser disc they ever made was that one video of a dead fox
Yeah.
being devoured by maggots, and that they'd show that in science class. They're like, laser discs, huh? Pretty cool. It holds 12 seconds of a fox being devoured by maggots. Awesome. Like-
Put on the live birth tape.
Yeah, those things they would wheel them in on the
Yeah.
the TV on the weird rack or whatever. And they only had like 2 things that they would ever play on them, but they had to get their money's worth, so you watched them every year.
It's like the school really wasted a lot of lottery money on these.
Yeah,
so-
yeah. But could you imagine somebody has to have fucked with like a mobile record player?
Mm-hmm.
They had like prototype cars with record players in them.
Really?
They were
Yeah.
supposed to be like
Okay.
anti-skip. They also had, I don't know if you've ever seen the vertical record players that people would
I
have.
think
They were
I
kind of
have
cool
seen
for
that.
in the 80s.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you'd put the record on, like you were hanging a coat basically,
Okay.
or
Interesting.
hanging a picture on the wall. I think they were garbage though. I mean,
Seems like they would
Could you watch them spin?
Yeah, it was
Nice.
like you'd close like a little like glass cover over it.
Okay.
And, yeah.
Weird. Interesting.
I think I owned one tape. It was Bone Thugs and Harmony. Someone at school made fun of me. And then
What?
I bought a TLC single and a Hanson single.
These were on cassette.
No. Oh, sorry. No, those were on CD. So I had the one tape, and then I moved to CD with TLC and Hanson
Oh,
singles.
I had Hanson.
I had a pretty bitchin' Rammstein collection.
Yeah?
Oh yeah, I had some Ram.
And I think that was when I started buying CDs. It was Rammstein.
Yeah,
So you guys just went straight to like cool. stuff?
Yeah, sure.
yeah.
I had the Hanson Christmas album.
Nice.
Did have a nice CD collection eventually.
I had Snuff Mcgruff on cassette that I listened to all the time. I had a little portable cassette player that was that was shaped like a taxi.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome.
That's cool.
Cool.
That's cool. Yeah. I remember those puppets. The Snuff Mcgruff puppet. He was always they had him in the principal's office in elementary
Yeah.
school. And then
What were the songs like? I don't think I ever heard.
Yeah, Snuff Mcgruff did cool raps about
Okay.
staying off drugs and
All right.
being a good citizen.
Not doing crimes.
Yeah, not doing crimes.
Cool.
Or Snuff Mcgruff would get you because I think he sniffed out crime.
Snuff ya.
Oh no, that's right. He snuffed out crime. It had that took a dark turn.
I'm
That's why.
Snuff McGruff. I like snuff film.
That's kind of why Dare had to step in at some point.
Snuff films.
Only people that deserve it, though.
Oh man, like how many kids have tried to look up Snuff Mcgruff and accidentally downloaded a bunch of snuff films? No snuff. No.
How many snuff film makers had a sense of humor and dressed up as
Yeah.
Oh man, you know that's yeah.
It's kind of funny because William Shatner, if you watch the video, he's in orbit and he's like, he can't speak. And when he landed, he says, "I never want to recover from this." Right? He says, "I hope I never recover from the experience of." And he's starting to give like this eloquent talk about what it was like to be able to go into orbit. And Jeff Bezos pushed him out of the way and said, "Hand me the champagne." And sprayed champagne all over the crew.
What? Really?
Yeah.
He's all about cool shit, not boring shit. Boring shit like talking about your feelings. Spray champagne. Models, bottles.
So he Snuff Mcgruffed him. Yeah, no, I heard about him going up and stuff, and a lot of people were giving him flack for going and stuff, which is kind of bizarre.
I never really heard flack about it. It's like, if anyone should go to space, it's William Shatner. He's the oldest man in space now too. He's
That's
90
really?
something. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's
And that's definitely, I mean, that I kind of related to that because that's just that's probably the only dream I have in life is to someday be able to go into orbit and see Earth.
Well, yeah, it should be
like-
pretty cheap.
I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I'm hoping when I'm 90, I can go into space.
Gotta get some moon.
My eyes will
tickets.
suck.
Moon Casino and Resort.
Jeff Bezos is building an orbit satellite to be put in orbit. Not a satellite, a space station for business for businnesmen.
Oh, for business.
Yeah. So business.
He's like, international waters are cool and all, but
What happens if you headquarters your company in space?
do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, would you be?
No taxes.
Yeah,
As far as I know, there's no taxes in space.
I don't think there is.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, guys have done it on like L. Ron Hubbard because he was totally fucked up. He basically got kicked out of every country, and so he just had a traveling ship of Scientology where he was able to practice pedophilia. And
It's legal on his boat.
and then
What are
he'd
you gonna
like
do?
Oh my
he'd
God.
kidnap.
What's wrong with that?
I know. I just know from my like he basically kidnapped jazz musicians that were Scientologists and made them make shitty albums.
they just couldn't leave his boat.
Yeah, they basically shanghaied jazz musicians. Tried
That's
to make
crazy.
tried to make the smartest music ever made. And
God.
he also made soundtracks to his books that you're supposed to play while reading them. So that's the type of guy we're dealing with.
Damn.
That's the type of guy.
So I came across this thing that this astronaut snuck a sandwich to space and almost got NASA canceled.
Go on.
Such a good
Why did
sandwich.
he get canceled?
That's
Or why
about
did
the gist of
wait,
it.
the guy got
He
canceled
snuck
or
a
NASA
corned
got
beef
canceled?
sandwich in his spacesuit
I was gonna say, what kind of
to
sandwich?
outer space, and then everybody, like NASA, Congress almost defunded NASA because of it.
Jesus.
Because I mean, it's risky and
Yeah.
endangered.
How is it
Space, I
risky
guess.
to bring a sandwich?
They
I
have
don't
approved
understand.
foods. It was during a time period when they were experimenting with space food, I guess, and trying to figure out what would work best. Maybe
yeah,
he
so he's
didn't
fucking the
like
whole
the
thing
space
up.
food that they were experimenting with, so he wanted a corned beef sandwich. I don't know. He
Corned
snuck
beef
it in his
sandwich.
spacesuit and apparently took it out when he got up there and offered it to the other astronaut.
And the other
They
astronaut was a
thought-
fucking snitch.
No,
Yeah.
no, I believe
that
it
guy.
broke apart, and then like
into
they ended
all
up
the
having
Wait, so
rolls.
it went
Honestly,
into a
though,
worst case scenario.
worst
the
case
sandwich
scenario.
just
Yeah,
disintegrated?
the bread just breaks all apart.
Went
Well,
into the
I'm just-
oxygen
Right
filters.
into his eyes. It's like, oh.
I'm not really sure why astronauts are allowed to have hair in space because you see videos of people with long hair in space, and it's just like that's got to be like it comes out.
Yeah, it's gotta be risky,
getting
huh?
into electronics and
Like
short
jammed
circuiting
all in
stuff,
there.
right?
Yeah, that's a good
Air
point.
compressors and stuff like that. Yeah.
Jeff Bezos fully agrees with that. He's like, no one with hair should go to space.
Shave their heads.
It'd be illegal.
No one with hair. No one with hair
Canceled.
should even exist. Even on Earth, it's not a good thing.
Fuck 'em.
They just put, what was that stuff that they used to have commercials for in the 90s? The Nair or whatever. Just
Oh,
your
God.
hair just wipes off.
How about Rudy Giuliani?
Oh yeah.
Does he use
And then I
Nair?
think he was giving that speech and it was leaking down his face. And I think he
Oh.
was trying to be like,
Hair
no,
was?
I don't spray on my hair. It's like, then at that point, what
Okay,
was that?
Something really wrong. We thought it was just a little hair color.
I didn't see that.
His eyebrows are leaking. He's just like.
Yeah.
Along those same lines, though, I wonder what people have done or have not done in space. Like, I don't know. At this point, space travel has been done by scientists. Like, have people done drugs in outer space?
Aren't they not allowed to have sex in space?
That's what I was wondering,
No
too. It
science.
makes a mess.
Pretty sure they're not allowed to. I could be wrong about
You're not
that.
allowed to bring corned beef sandwiches either, though. You know.
I think that
Well, you weren't back in the day.
Yeah, that's
Not sure now.
the
When was that story from?
I don't know. I'm not sure. It was
It's an old
Gemini the Third or something like that. He walked on the moon, so it's a long time ago.
Did he take the sandwich all the way to the moon?
No.
Oh my God.
They ate it on the way? I mean...
I don't know if it was the same mission.
Okay.
So stale. It's just sweat-soaked sandwich.
It was 2 days old. I did read that.
Okay.
Oh,
So
Got a
maybe,
shelf life.
maybe a little.
Wasn't
Ah.
refrigerated.
Awesome.
Could have caused an infection.
Yeah.
It's probably
You don't
pretty
want a
cold
space
up there, right?
Not in the capsule, though. It is very
True.
cold right outside the capsule.
Yeah.
You could like
Not in a suit, especially.
he just freeze dries his sandwich really quick and then rehydrates it later. If you put it out into the vacuum of space,
It expands to the size of a house.
yeah,
I just think it's hilarious because he thought it was no big deal.
Come on,
Like,
guys, just a
yeah,
sandwich.
it's just normal. He just brought a
Don't
sandwich
they go
in
through
a
like a
suit.
ton of training and shit?
Anyone
Like,
else has a sandwich in their pocket.
They talked
There was-
about not bringing food into space after lunch. He was real sleepy. He missed that one. He ate a huge corned beef sandwich.
It's like I made this yesterday, so it's like we were about to leave. It should count.
The other weird thing I came across was Niels Bohr. I guess I'm not quite familiar with why he won the Nobel Prize.
Oh, the model of the atom. I
The model
think?
of the atom.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. And I guess he was rewarded with beer for life.
Ooh.
They
Oh,
installed a beer
crazy.
pipeline to his house,
A
and
pipeline.
he lived there for the
Wow.
rest of his life until he died.
Yeah, you can't move if you got
And
a
he
beer
died
pipeline.
4 years later.
30 years.
He hated beer.
Wait, so what? Who?
Do you live
granted
next to the
that?
beer factory?
I don't know. I didn't.
Was
how do you pipe beer to a house? What?
Through a beer pipeline.
a beer pipeline?
What?
You have to cut
It
down
must
a lot
be-
of forest, clear a lot of trees, and wow.
That's what I was
You
thinking.
have to
Yeah,
be German, yeah.
had to be
People
German.
halting the pipeline. They're like, "Stop the
They
pipeline!"
have the infrastructure for that.
Yeah.
The engineering know-how.
That was a reward for his
Mhm.
work?
Yeah, for winning the Nobel Prize.
That's
If you
crazy.
win a Nobel Prize, you only get so much money, right?
Like $1 million, right?
I have no idea.
Not even
Does
that
it have to
much.
be used in research?
I don't think so.
I don't know. I think they just. I
don't
didn't
know
even know
shit,
you
though.
won. I thought you just got like.
Yeah,
a
I thought you
cool,
just get
I
recognition.
think they give you
necklace.
like $1 million or something.
You do get. I think
Which
you
used
do
to
get
be a big
money.
deal.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
still like
Still a lot.
pretty
Yeah.
decent.
Yeah. Pretty
Imagine working your whole life to earn a Nobel Prize and be like, I'm done. I'm not like fuck you guys. I'm partying. Like, I'm on
2 years later, you're like, I blew it all.
Can I have another one? Okay, I'll work really hard. All right.
Some more peace or science or whatever you want. So let me borrow $10, dude.
Like, how does that whole process work, too? They have, like, a panel of people that vote on who's going to win the Nobel Prize, right? Like, who are those people?
And the
Illuminati.
you can't really win for theoretical. Like nothing wins that's theoretical still. I just saw a thing recently where like no one has won for like no one in the field of string theory has gotten a Nobel Prize because it's all purely theoretical. But as
Okay,
soon as
yeah.
they start doing experiments where they can prove any of this theoretical
Yeah.
stuff, then you become eligible to start winning.
Okay. I
That's
know
in
they
science though. They have so many ridiculous ones. I don't know. In people win
there's, like,
peace
the-
ones that fucking slaughter hundreds of thousands of people. So
Well,
I don't know how it
Peace
works.
Prize
Really.
or whatever. I remember seeing Hitler was nominated for the Nobel Peace
In
Prize.
34, 35, no one knew what was on the horizon.
And
Like,
then like, do we retract it or do we just hope people forget?
he was also on the cover of Time magazine. So,
Yeah, that's true. Crazy.
and we brought over a bunch of his dirigibles and blew him up. So,
Yeah. A bunch of his scientists.
yeah, kept them.
The best minds.
yeah.
The best
Yeah.
freaky deaky minds.
Yeah. Speaking of the space program, that was all Nazi scientists.
Fucking Nazis.
Oh yeah. Well, there's a big conspiracy that NASA is the.
NASA, Nazi. Think
yeah.
about it.
I mean, think about it.
Think about it.
Yeah, Von Braun. He was their rocket scientist. He made the V2s and stuff.
Yeah,
I
and he was
think.
probably the most or the least egregious. I mean, he was not a good guy either, though. He was a full-on Nazi.
No, I think I.
But they
heard
brought over some
crazy stuff.
some
about him.
freaks.
Yeah.
Freaky dickies.
Yeah, but that guy,
Freaky
like, you
dickies
can
need
watch.
love too.
Huh?
Nothing.
You can watch. There's like an old. There's like an old movie that you can watch of him, and he's going over like the whole space program and like how they're going to develop everything and stuff. It was really interesting to watch because the effects that they have in it look insanely real, like of the moon itself. Which like there's like a lot of the moon conspiracy people or whatever.
Truthers.
Yeah. No, I saw this though, and I was like, I don't know. That looks pretty crazy. It looks like it looks almost like CGI or something, like from back in the day. But they must have built some kind of weird model or something. Because it's
Could be.
before.
Why
we
do they
went
have
there.
this? What is it? I don't.
I thought you watched it with me. It was that
Propaganda film.
yeah, is Von Braun talking about the space program and what they were going to do and the stuff they're going to build in order to get to the moon and everything.
Okay.
But they have like this mock version of everything, and then
And it just
like-
looks super real.
well, I think all the rockets and stuff look pretty fake, but then the moon itself looks like you're like, this stuff looks obviously fake, but then you're like, that looks crazy real. Like, it's
Well,
very
I mean,
bizarre.
is this people walking on the moon? They made video of people walking on this fake moon, and it looked real. Or
No,
are you talking
it was
about-
them flying over it, and it was the images of the moon itself.
Okay.
Like, they're images of the moon. I guess,
Oh,
actually,
maybe it's just images of the moon.
yeah, it could
Yeah.
be. It was
Okay.
probably just satellites.
So it's like, why do you
yeah.
think the moon landing's fake? Okay, let me get this Nazi propaganda movie out. You'll see.
Yeah. So it's like,
Wait.
wait a minute. Well, so they probably had satellites and took the pictures. I guess that explains that.
Case closed.
Case closed.
There you go.
But yeah.
Did you see that moon landing simulator that they had over at the old ice cream
Oh
factory?
no, I wanted to check it out though. I saw it I think it was like right as it was leaving or something. I found out about it, that it was there. But
It was neat.
it was neat. You checked it out.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
It was like part of it, but
because
was cool.
it was built here, right?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Why was it in an ice cream shop?
They turned the ice cream shop over there into the museum. What's
Okay.
it called? TechWorks?
Yeah.
Oh, it wasn't an active ice cream.
Ice
shop.
cream factory.
yeah, yeah. Abandoned.
Like
ice
100
cream
years ago, it was an
factory.
ice cream factory.
Remember when we went there?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, I'd like to volunteer and work on this stuff. She's like, you know how to fix giant holes in roofs? I was like, and there's water pouring down. I'm like, listen, I'm not doing this. This is not the type of thing I want to
Yeah.
any part of.
So they helped
Like,
set up some of the displays
Yeah.
and stuff. But I remember the first time I found that place, I was just walking down Water Street and the door was open, and I just started looking around. I was like, this place is. I thought this place was abandoned or whatever, and I looked in there, and some lady was in there, and she's like, "Oh, hey, come in and check it out or whatever." And I was like, "What? This place is cool. Like, there's all kinds of weird stuff." I made a punch card and stuff. Like, they have some of the old original IBM supercomputers in the back and everything.
Yeah.
It was pretty neat. Yeah.
John and I went there for Valentine's Day, and we ruined a live performance of experimental music.
Hard.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
It was dark in there, and we just
Ye-
opened the
what?
door, and people were like mid-performance.
Door, yeah, it just opened into this warehouse where it's pitch black, but it's like noon. We're 2 minutes late for the performance.
Oh my
fuck.
Oh
God.
God.
And people hated us.
Yeah. They're talking shit about us for like 20 minutes.
Oh God.
So you never
We'll
went
just look
back.
back.
I don't think I've
I
been
think
back
we
since.
left. It was so bad. We left. We're like, well, we can't just leave and open the door again. And then after 2 more minutes, we were like, fuck it, let's go.
So we opened the door back up.
Well, we already did it
Fuck
once. Do it again.
Were they just staring at you, or
Basically,
I mean,
well,
on the
'cause
way out, I don't
we
know.
went
I
in. We
went
were
back
late
there
enough that
to
we
him,
didn't.
so-
There was like seating, and we just stood off to the side the whole
Yeah.
time,
God.
and then we left. And I think we just brushed it off as like, well, they were all assholes. Anyway.
Yeah.
Really,
If
like-
you're sitting there listening to that, you're an asshole. It's like ambient, experimental.
with like 15 people.
Wow.
Yeah, but not.
Performing?
Yeah, and
Pretty
it
sure
was-
they're all freestyling, untrained.
yeah.
Oh, weird.
It's just maybe I just didn't get it, man. But I don't know. Just lashing out because I'm embarrassed.
Your ability to recognize it is the growth, though.
Yeah.
That's
No, it's the gross. Feelings are gay. That was a little more lashing out there.
So, if
If
There's a-
mommy gave me more attention, yeah, I wouldn't be like this.
you just can't stop lashing out.
Next hour and a half. Outburst after outburst.
experimental podcast, a scream session for an hour and a half.
Hypothetical total societal
Oh,
collapse.
we're back to this. All right.
What's
No,
your
let's
game
get
plan?
That's not
to it.
funny.
Let's no, we can make it
Yeah,
funny.
let's be a
Not
little
funny
more
at all.
serious.
That's not funny at all.
No, we can.
When's it gonna happen?
What's your game plan? I don't know. Do you know
Start
when it's gonna
clowning.
happen?
It's anywhere between 6 months from now and never.
Yeah.
Apocalypse never.
Yeah.
I'm in that camp.
Yeah. It's definitely not happening in the next 5 months. That's for sure.
6 months though.
Yeah,
Well, I
6
guess-
months, it's anyone's game.
Is it like depending on what kind? I guess.
Oh.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I
Like,
think the beauty of is you don't get to pick.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Well,
it's-
it's definitely gonna be
Yeah.
a random.
That'll be like a lack of resources, right?
It's the thing. I think the
Supply
beauty of
chain
it is,
breakdown
like,
because no one wants to work anymore.
you can't even
Shit.
predict it. It's something we haven't even thought of.
I mean, if I had to bet, it's because no one wants to work anymore or zombies.
Yeah.
Going zombies.
Probably zombies.
No
Yeah,
asteroid?
for sure.
But what do you mean by zombies?
Like Living Dead,
Like
Wuhan 2.
rabies.
I've thought about what if this virus is just supposed to get continuously worse until it turns into
Yeah.
fucking full on.
I think it comes in 3 doses. You get the virus, you get the vaccine, and then they can just put the trigger in the water, and then you're zombies. Good reason to believe that.
It's the 5G
Yeah.
towers that trigger something in the vaccine.
5G, man.
Yeah.
Actually, so apparently we can get 5G Wi-Fi here now.
Hmm.
It's supposed to be pretty good.
Hmm.
It's $50 a month.
Hmm.
Didn't know that.
Should we jump on that deal?
I
If
think
you
in
go
a-
over your data limit though, what's like?
No data caps.
Are you
There's
for
gotta
real?
be a data
Yeah.
cap,
No data caps.
Sounds pretty good.
so
Yeah.
they throttle you
Never.
entirely, so that you don't hit your data cap.
Apparently speeds vary during times of congestion, but I think cable
okay.
does that anyway too.
And no one knows about it, so
Yeah.
Hmm.
I definitely get like when I'm watching YouTube or something, I'll get pop-ups that say like, "Oh, are you experiencing interruptions?" And then it'll
Yeah.
go to a page that says like, "This is the traffic at this point in your area."
I've seen that one.
Oh yeah.
We live right next to a 5G tower, so I'm thinking about trying it out.
Oh nice.
Don't we all live right next to 5G
I don't think
towers?
you do.
Doesn't everyone?
You don't. They're not going to get you.
What's the speed on it?
300, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
It's supposed to have
That
good
sounds
pretty
pretty
too.
awesome. Okay. Yeah.
So.
Now I'm listening.
Yeah.
What company is it?
T-Mobile.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Because they used to have data caps. You'd hit like 300 or gigabytes or whatever, and then it would
right, like
turn
the
off.
4G.
Yeah. Or they would charge you more or something. Yeah.
How close do you live to it?
It's by McDonald's, so
You can hear the
3
buzzing.
blocks, and it's like
Too
since
close
we're-
for comfort.
Yeah. I can feel it. I felt them install it.
Tree out front or something. I saw some.
You became more docile.
Disagree.
Seems more aggressive.
Based on this episode, I'd say it's.
Yeah. Look into my eyes.
You guys just set your popcorn bags on the counter and they just start slowly popping. Yet that like actually sounds pretty sweet. I think I might do that.
Check it out.
Yeah.
I think I might get it. It's also, I guess, like no contract, no blah blah blah. So you can just give them $50
Oh, okay.
and then try it for a month.
That's cool. Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure Spectrum or
Suck
Time
it,
Warner.
Spectrum, more like speculum in your ass.
Yeah. They're up to like it's like $70 now or something.
75.
Yeah, and like they still obviously suck. So yeah.
They keep sending me letters from the movie companies.
Advertisements for various films.
Threats of legal action.
They're like, you should download this.
We like that. We like that you download a lot of movies illegally. Download this movie.
Yeah.
Come on.
They shut my internet off one time for something. It was like a
Not paying.
no, and I was like, I shouldn't have to pay. Internet's right.
Not surfing, I'm traveling.
I'm squatting. This is my this is my link. No, they like yeah, they sent me a thing like a piracy thing, and it was like some shitty movie I'd never even heard about, and I was like, I did not download this movie. And then when they turn your internet off and then they make you email them, they like try and make you beg to turn it back on. They're like, you have to acknowledge you did it, and then we'll turn it on. And I just refuse to acknowledge, because you have to like, because if you acknowledge it, then it's so stupid. Yeah. But they got me in this weird loop where I was just trying to get them to turn the internet on. I was like, dude, I already paid you money, so like, you kind of have to turn my internet on, because it's like, or give me my money back. It's very bizarre, but I don't know where I was going with that. I think I had a better place in my mind, but
They turned mine off, and I just had to like. I think I read everything that was on the page, but I was just like, just turn it back on, and then they turned it back on. But this was a couple years after they turned yours off, I think.
okay, yeah. It used to be there's this weird wonky period where they got really bad with it,
Yeah.
and then they just shut it off, and then like, they did it another time, and there wasn't even a warning. And then he's like, the guy was like, I was talking to him, and then I was like, dude, they didn't even send me a warning. He's like, check your email. He's like, they only shut it off if you get a warning, and there wasn't one. And then I was like, can you? I went through like 3 different people, and then a guy was like, dude, can you please just check and see if anyone ever sent me a warning? And then he checked, and there was no warning, and he was just like, oh, dude, I'm real sorry.
You know all that mail you keep in your attic?
Apologizing to you.
That was the warning.
Yeah.
All the stacks of mail.
I should have warned you not to commit crimes. I'm so sorry I didn't warn you not to commit crimes.
So ridiculous.
I'm going to start my own internet company in the apocalypse. That's what I'm going to do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's probably a good niche to get into.
Yeah, I think I should probably start it now, and then when
Yeah.
the apocalypse comes.
You could
Take
be
it with
like-
you.
Have you ever seen that shitty movie, The Postman? You
Nope.
could be the internet. You could be the internet of the postman.
Dope.
It's got Kevin Costner, societal collapse. He decides to start delivering mail by horseback,
Is that
and
what
he
that
brings
movie was
society.
about?
He brings society back. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
through the mail.
Wow.
Oh,
A couple
okay.
years.
Yeah,
Couple months.
within a
Couple months.
within a lifetime.
Yeah,
Within a
okay.
movie.
I remember seeing
Sweet.
that and I had no idea what it was about when
Yeah.
I was like 6.
He had a good run.
Posse.
Did
The internet
Waterworld as
will
well.
be in high demand.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
People are going to be fiending.
What would be great is you could be one of those door-to-door guys and you provide them the internet, but there's no server, like there's no internet. You're just providing if there was things to visit, you could. But
Yeah, I don't know, like if, so yeah, I guess depending if it's a zombie apocalypse, like you get the 5G kicks in and everybody
Yeah.
starts changing. Like, you'd probably would you base your internet, your internet venture out and you'd have to leave the city, right?
I mean, this is all a matter of like how extreme the zombies are, I guess.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
If they're like, what's the new zombies that are all like running around and crazy?
Oh yeah.
I just need one bullet for that. That's problem solved. Like, we're done here.
World War Z or whatever. Like they went from being like these slow lumbering
Yeah.
things, and I remember seeing clips from that, and they were forming like an ant colony. They were just forming
Yeah.
these massive tendrils that were
Fast.
grabbing helicopters and stuff.
Yeah.
I got really tired of zombie stuff, but I appreciated zombies more when they were this slow lumbering menace.
Mm-hmm.
And something about that, like they had clear, like you aren't supposed to become superhuman when you become a zombie. Like it's cooler
Yeah.
when they're.
Stupid.
It's such a mass of them that it doesn't matter if they travel at 1 mile per hour. They want to eat your
Yeah, you
brains,
just can't get away
and they're
from
going to get
Yeah.
them.
Yeah,
Like,
that I would
yeah.
trudge through for a while, probably. See how that goes. If there's like 6 of them downtown, and that was it. And people were just like, "What?" Poking them.
I had an idea for a zombie story where instead of, because they're always like, they're always like, it's nighttime and it's scary because there's zombies around and stuff like that. But my thought was like, if you're a zombie, everything's degrading, so you're probably actually only dangerous during the day. But at night, you could just, because their eyes are degrading and stuff like that, they can't blink
that's
anymore.
true. That's
So it's
true,
like
yeah.
throwing a twist on that shit.
Oh yeah,
The daytime is the dangerous time.
it
Nighttime
probably
is,
would be.
you could travel freely.
Yeah, they have poor night vision. Like, yeah, a lot of them would just have a high tendency of tripping and getting injured. The zombies in the nighttime.
Like old school zombies. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Like no one
Get your
really.
shit together.
Yeah. What about all the zombies? Like, there's like old people and stuff running around as zombies. Even if you're dead already and you're a zombie, like, do you think your like hip operation would hold up and you would still be like in your A game as a zombie?
We got to get into zombie anatomy here, I think, because like I can't walk up a flight of stairs really well. So a dead version of me is not doing shit.
But you don't just immediately just like, all right, guess I'm crawling. They'll be just like,
I'll have a strong desire.
they'll beat
to
you
go
crawling.
How does a zombie make that decision? I'm walking, or I'm
Brain.
crawling.
Really
Like,
wants brains.
I mean,
they're still thinking. There's
gotta
stuff
have them
going
the
on.
thing is, meth addicts can't even figure out hills. So I'm pretty sure.
That's true.
But
It's a scientific fact.
I've seen it. There's like definitely it's like an
Unsettling.
invisible barrier. You see a meth head and they're walking around town. Once they get to an incline, they're just like they're hitting an invisible wall. And they just don't make it any further.
Well, the zombies, wouldn't they have a tendency to just roll downhill too? they would.
Oh
be,
yeah.
Yeah. Every time they trip, they're going down to the bottom.
Well,
of the
I
hill.
mean, they're just if they're coming at you, they're not going to want to work for it, right? They're not going to go uphill.
How long does it take for your
What'd you think?
feet to actually like break down?
That's
yeah.
another
Underground.
good point. If you're
Like, your
just
skin's not. Your tendons are gone after like 2
like,
years or something. I mean,
Are-
can't
are-
be 2 years.
are you
even.
talking like just like being on your feet, like pounding pavement, like
Well,
you're a
there's a
zombie
bit of that
just
too.
out there
I'm thinking
grinding day to
dead.
day?
Like, don't the zombies come out of the graveyard or something?
Yeah, but they got shoes on. But I don't know if that
Oh.
helps or I don't know.
No, that's a really good point.
I don't know if that helps or hinders you though, because keeping all that, your feet can't breathe when you've been in shoes for decades,
Yeah.
years.
Wouldn't they just be like mush after? Like, if you've
God.
been on your feet all day with a functioning immune system and like mild nourishment, like your feet still get sore. Like, but like now it's like we're talking like Walking Dead. You're a zombie. You've been out there for 2 years, just like looking for some brains. Like, aren't your feet just gonna be pegs at some point? Like, you're just.
And actually, I don't know that we bury people with the shoes on. No one knows.
Oh yeah,
Very
Why
few
would you
people
bother?
know.
that's a good point. Yeah.
Do they have pants on? They have pants on.
Yeah, they usually have pants on.
In case you look down.
Like, do they even bury people with like? Wouldn't they just set like the front part of a shirt?
Or
sounds
what
like
if
more
it's
work.
actually?
I don't know.
What if the truth behind it all is because of? So it's when you're seeing somebody in an open casket, that's only the top half of them.
Yeah.
I mean,
Cut off the other.
where do they get
half
hip
of them?
replacements from?
Oh my.
I'm pretty sure cadavers.
Oh, I was thinking
True.
you meant they cut off the bottom, like the back half of it.
They chop the back half of them
That way we can make the coffins a little
That's where all
shorter.
the good.
Save
That's where all the
money on
good
that
stuff
wood.
is.
You need half as many clothes, half as much coffin.
Yeah, with this lumber shortage, no one wants to work anymore. We're gonna start cutting people in half the long way.
It's just like it looks like they're sinking into that plush like bottom.
You're like I've never really made that connection. Like you go to it and you're like this casket seems like it's not tall enough for a full body in there. Like it's not, the back half of them has to be missing. It's only 12 inches deep.
No, they cremate the.
They
back
get to dig
half.
shallower.
They cremate the back half of you, and then the top half of you gets buried. That's like if you want.
I wonder, honestly, they should offer a discount for if you want to get a half and half. Like,
Yeah, a
burn
half and
half,
half.
bury the other half, smaller everything.
Like, why not?
Yeah, I'd
Half
Half-
grave. You could split a grave with someone.
Half
Maybe?
grave, and then they can just like throw your ashes wherever. But then you get
in the river.
yeah. So, but then you get like this. You at least get half the coffin that you originally desired.
Mhm. What if you went half and half with someone? One of you had to choose bottom, and the other one had to choose top.
And they just flip it for the next
Yeah.
funeral. Yeah.
It's just my legs. At the funeral.
They chop you this way. Or like they do a side. So they
two
cut,
go down the middle.
yeah,
lay
they
on each
cut the
side,
back of you off to save on coffin space.
Right.
But then they cut you each into quarters.
Quartered up now.
And then when another family comes in, they just turn the casket around
Yeah.
to view you from the other side. Yeah.
Nobody ever looks into these things, right?
No one even brings up the
we're
questions.
No one's ever
We're figuring it out.
talking
I think we're
reality of
onto
this
something
name.
here. We're about to uncover something that
Like
goes
if-
deep, 6 feet under.
Because these, I mean, you know that there's got to be people trying to cut some corners here using some of these methods.
Oh yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
I can't think of why you wouldn't quarter
got-
people, stick to them in a coffin, and use it for two
Well,
funerals.
we've got
I
a
don't know why.
crematorium. It's just, and I mean, only so many coffins. What are you gonna do? The guy's got a schedule. He's got to have people in and out.
Yeah.
So like, if you're pulling all these funerals, like, it's just a lot faster to just flip that puppy over.
If any of our listeners happen to be going by a funeral, check some shit out for us and get back to us with what you find.
See if they're wearing shoes.
Flip them over. See what's under there.
Yeah, flip them over.
God.
Just, fiddle with it. See what you can find.
Do a little fiddling. Get in there.
See if his hip replacement's still there. Just really dig in there.
Get a metal detector.
Yeah.
Check his teeth for fillings, his or hers.
Oh,
or
yeah.
Oh
theirs.
yeah. A
You know,
lot
check
of
their
those
teeth for
are-
fillings.
You know they're taking those.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They sew the mouth shut. Is that really necessary?
That's
because they took all the teeth out.
Why not? Like, why does everyone have to have their mouth closed? Like, why not like an open smile?
Also, if you've been to a funeral recently,
That would be.
we're sorry collectively, super sorry.
So you're just like
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
with your eyes like. Well, I guess.
God.
Like, if you're gonna have a funeral anytime soon, just go for something different. Like, everybody
skydiving or something.
Everybody has the same old look. You go for something new.
It's almost Halloween.
It's almost
like some face paint.
That's
costume.
true. Yeah.
Something fun.
Do something fun.
One last joke.
Yeah.
Scare your family.
Yeah.
I tried to die near Halloween. They could put me in a haunted house. That'd be cool.
Haunted house. So like
Haunted house with real dead bodies.
you have to find the. So you go to a funeral and you go into the haunted house and you have to find the corpse. So like. Like he might just a closet door might just open.
Yeah. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm actually quartered, so you got to find all 4 parts.
Oh yeah.
Around the funeral. It's an escape room, and if you lose, you get quartered.
Winner gets to spread the ashes.
Winner gets to pay for the funeral.
Well, winner gets to decide the disposal of the body if it remains. So whatever you choose.
Whatever you choose. Well, the bottom half of him is burned, so there's going to be some ashes. Someone's got to take them. So, like, the person who finds the body gets to take the ashes.
Yeah.
Loser pays for the funeral? I don't know.
Loser gets quartered.
Yeah, loser gets quartered.
If you're quartered, yeah.
Quartered up. Someone else wants to play. Come on.
Potluck.
And it's just a never-ending cycle, too. There's always a loser.
Cannibalism.
And that sets up the next.
Cannibalism.
There's always a loser that sets up the next escape room.
And you
always lose.
And it becomes an escape room. You can't, the funeral you can't leave until you find the body. People are prying up floorboards and shit.
I mean, with the 6 degrees of freedom, like pretty quick, you'd get everybody in that funeral. Like, keep quartering people and having all their relatives come to the funeral. And you're gonna go through.
Imagine being. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, you could potluck the funeral. You can just why do one funeral at a time? Like, if you got a bunch of dead people, you freeze them for a little while. You just do it all at the same time. One gig, you hide them in a different corner.
Yeah. Historically, humans have done that, and it was during very bad times. Imagine though, like a bowl of skinned grapes that feel like eyeballs, but you have to find the actual eyeballs.
Ooh, that's fun for the kids.
That's good. Yeah. And then whoever finds the first eyeball gets to tell like a fun story about.
Does it have to be like relevant, or can it just be
just like something?
You can like read a passage.
Just
from the
like
Bible
a nice memory of the person.
Yeah. Sing a song.
Yeah. Sing a song. You just break out into song. Yeah. No, I think as a model for funerals, it's way better than what we have now. Like.
Everyone talks about they wanted more of a celebration of life and a party.
Yeah, I feel like everyone says that, right?
Yeah, everyone says that.
Yeah.
Every funeral I've ever been to, everyone gets wasted after, so and also dances and parties. So, like it's working out.
It's like, God, guys, it's been a while since we had a good time. Do we know anyone that's like on the cusp? I like that this is the Halloween episode, even though it won't be released for
a month.
So was Jesus the original zombie?
Number 1, yeah.
OG?
No, because he brought people,
Jesus.
while he was alive, he brought people back to life from the dead. Lazarus, right? So he made the original zombie. He's like a Dr. Frankenstein.
That's true, yeah.
But he also came back.
Well, he also did, it was like a prototype for what we're talking about here. He hid in a building, and he scared his friends when they wanted to find him.
The crazy thing is,
such a
they're like,
that's what they don't say in the Bible.
The crazy thing is they didn't make a bigger deal about like, okay, the body disappeared.
Yeah.
It's out there somewhere.
Well, it's like an Easter egg.
Like,
where is he? Where is he? Who took him?
Maybe the fact that the Easter egg, maybe the egg is not a ridiculous symbol for Easter. Like,
oh yeah, you're just. It's like is it a symbol for like looking for Jesus's body?
Yep.
Like when did they just take his? Was it like a game? They took his body and then they're like, can you just like they're gonna go in there and they're gonna expect to see him. Like, come on.
And they're like, this is gonna catch on, and we're only now bringing it up tonight for the first time.
They'll have to look for his body. We'll hide him over here. Like, and then he's like behind a dumpster somewhere, and they're like, they're never gonna look here. But then like they just like it's like a joke that they just forgot to tell everybody about it, and then it became a real mystery. And they're like,
Yeah.
but the guy, they're like, we're too deep now.
You can't say something.
We can't say something now. People are gonna get
It's like
mad.
he was it was magic, I guess. Let's make a whole
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
about it.
Would have been fun if you guys actually looked for him.
I had to look behind the dumpster before they wrapped all their garbage in plastic, though. So I was like, I'm not touching that dumpster. And everything they threw out back then was garbage.
Yeah.
Turn to slime.
Has anyone ever tried a fig?
I love
Yeah.
figs.
Yep.
Have you ever eaten one?
I've
Or
tried
just-
fresh.
Not the
and dried.
Newton.
Not the
An
Newton. I've only
actual
had
fig.
Oh, no, I've only had Fig
Yeah.
Newtons.
Yeah, see,
Yeah, I had some figs
yeah. What do they
recently.
Fresh?
Just like-
kinda
Did you have
dates.
freach figs or
Oh,
dried?
Yeah, fresh figs.
taste? All right.
I want one.
Yeah, no, like
Or were they dried? I don't know. They came at. I got it from Wegmans with some cheese and some other things.
Uh,
I can't remember.
Were they whole when you ate them?
I got a lot of questions about these figs.
What shape
I
were
think
they?
I'm pretty sure they were fresh and quartered.
Okay, so they were already
We've never
chopped.
met anyone that's had
Eaten
an
a
actual
fig,
fig,
yeah.
I've
other
had
than the Newton.
actual.
Or what's a dried
figs.
fig? Is that an apricot?
No,
An
it's a
apricot.
fig.
What's
Does
a
a
dried,
fig-
dried apricot? Is
But
a
it's
fig?
very similar.
What are the dried ones though? They call them something different when they become dry, right? Like raisins or grapes.
really?
They're figs
What?
still.
Apricots?
What's a dried apricot
It's
then?
a-
Is it just a
Dried apricot.
It's apricot.
You keep
Mine
saying
is
it. You
dried.
keep saying dried apricot. That's what they call it.
It's like if you took a peach and you dried
I'm
it.
thinking
What do they
of
call
it would be a
cars?
dried peach.
Don't.
Yeah,
I'm
but
thinking
what do
of
they call
prunes.
cars?
What was that?
Cars.
A prune is a plum.
A plum?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's an
plum.
Italian plum or
Can you
like
just
a certain
raisin
variety of plum.
anything? Like it,
Sure, go for it.
it's just like because if a plum, they taste like raisins too, don't they? Kind of.
Prune?
Yeah.
Mm,
Well, I
Never
do
had
think
one,
that the
but-
I think
something
they're-
happens with the sugar when you dry
Yeah.
It kind of
fruit.
crystallizes.
like raisins
right?
Yes.
don't really taste like grapes. They
No,
like-
not even
Yeah,
close.
they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Candy.
it's like a grape if you took all the water out. That's what's left.
Yeah, no, I was just like, because we were talking about it. And I'm like, I've had fig Newtons, and I've never had a fig, and I was just like,
You still haven't because I know
don't.
they're not in fig Newtons too.
They
Like,
are. I read the
how much of
ingredients.
the Newton
Oh,
is
okay.
a fig?
Sorry.
it's fig with two
Mostly
G's.
apple though. but-
PHIG.
Is it?
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
I think it's
Oh, really?
apple. I think there's more apple than fig.
Apples
Okay.
are so
Also,
cheap.
I may have had store brand fig Newtons. So.
Mm.
Oh yeah, no, I don't know if I ever had the
Cheap
name
ones.
brand
You know, like
ones.
Juicy juice, the number one ingredient's always apple juice. Berry banana flavored. Number one ingredient, apple
It's
juice.
Apple juice with a hint of berry.
Yeah, they
and
just put some.
banana.
They put some artificial flavors in there.
Oh, okay,
100%
okay.
apple
That
juice
makes
with
sense.
artificial flavors.
That makes sense. If you want those things, that's what you have to do.
Yep.
Mix it
Can't
up.
just juice some bananas. Yeah, I want to say figs.
Figs are pretty
Were
good.
they? It's like a pale fruit, right, with little black dots kind of in it.
It's
Or what did I eat?
it's
I
like a
don't know.
yeah
What
yeah. It's
did I
kind of
eat?
pale gray or
pumpkin?
black. I think there's
Oh my
different varieties, but that's the most common one
Okay.
that I've had around here. And yeah, I don't know. It's kind of grape like, I guess.
It's the same as a pear.
Very
isn't it?
seedy.
Pea,
No, not even close to a pear.
Texture-like.
sort of
I hate
gummy,
fruit.
creamy.
So.
Creamy? Hmm.
Like a grape a little bit, but softer, creamier, like
Yeah.
like
Is
you
there a
said.
lot of
Textures
seeds?
like
Like
grapey?
snot.
I think they were like
Snot? That's-
strawberry seeds, so like just little tiny
Like kiwi seeds.
Oh,
like
okay.
kiwi
Crunch it.
seeds. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Hmm.
I want to
Weird.
try one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never had.
Is the wasp still inside?
Yes.
We read about
I think
wasps.
right. They're always
being-
inside. Don't they have to be?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beside figs.
What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
A wasp flies.
That's how they
in
get
there, and I don't know if it
pollinated.
ever comes back out.
No, they don't come back out.
That's
sure
what
one
makes
is gone
them.
now.
Why do you say
figs, eh?
wasp so
Yeah.
weird?
Wait, is it required to make a fig fruit?
That's
I
my
think so.
understanding.
Is they
Yeah.
have to be? That's fucking crazy.
They
It's stuff
sacrifice
like that
themselves.
that makes me be like, maybe evolution isn't real. Maybe it's like.
Does the why wouldn't he let him go though? Like he goes in there and then he can't get back
because
out.
he's inside there.
It wouldn't
Yeah.
be the same if it
Yeah.
wasn't made out of.
If it didn't require
Wasp.
one life to make
You
each.
vegans.
So the
One
wasp needs to make the ultimate sacrifice
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
for the fruit to shine.
What do you
That's why God hates figs.
God eats figs.
Yeah.
hates figs?
Oh, he hates them.
God hates figs.
Oh.
Everybody used fig leaves, right?
They're trying to
Everybody?
cover
Their
junk up.
genitalia.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant just like
I
in
was like,
general.
I hate these things.
I
I want
think-
to see some.
Maybe in
Just
cuisine. I don't know.
Generally use them.
I want to see Adam's nuts. Oh God. Hate figs.
Aren't they like a parasitic tree?
Oh, they eat
I
wasps,
feel
right?
think
just
they
because
might
you're
be.
saying that, I feel like I've heard that.
I think I've
before.
seen pictures of
But-
giant one, like it's like a binding tree or whatever that will
Doesn't
take
have
over
those
other
roots
trees.
that come down and like kind of wrap around stuff.
Yeah,
think, yeah.
it'll just keep wrapping all around
Yeah.
other trees or whatever, so it creates its own
So it's
tree.
like a
I
parasite.
think. I could be wrong.
It's a tasty
I'm usually
parasite.
wrong.
Mm.
Make good Newtons.
Oh yeah.
Who's Newton? Is that like a play on
Yeah, who is Newton?
Isaac Newton, the apple?
I think
Is
it's like, hey, I invented this
Is that why I
thing.
think they're
My name's
mostly Apple?
Newton.
I don't
No relation.
That if they're mostly apple.
What if they
that
were
could be-
apple Newtons first, and I was like, apples are dumb. I want something exotic. I'm like,
And
fine. How
some
about a
guy,
fig Newton?
Mr. Newton
As a
is
joke.
like-
As a joke, he's like, oh, how about a fig Newton? Then everyone's like, yeah, do it.
He's like, these idiots don't realize it's just more apple.
It's all apples, you dumb shit.
Fig flavoring. It's
Put
genius.
raisins in apples, you idiot.
It's like whenever you make an apple into a raisin, it tastes just like a fig.
You don't even know what a fig tastes like. I can make it taste like anything.
If you dried out an apple, like would it raise? I think I had an apple that was dry once.
I think apples get. I think dried apples get
dried
super
apples are
hard.
delicious.
Yeah, apple chips.
No, they're still like,
Oh no, this
Yeah,
is a
there's-
whole
you can make
apple.
them more
chips.
moist than that.
yeah.
I don't
like
know
them
what
nice
was
and
wrong
moist.
with this apple, but it was sitting
You
on
ever
the
eat the
fridge and it was very dry.
Oh yeah, not yeah.
There's no water left.
Was it just a shitty mealy apple? Like Red
Yeah.
Deliciouses are the worst apples ever.
They're
And
pretty
I-
bad.
I
So
don't-
bad.
Like no, if it
Gallows
was
aren't that
like-
great either.
Gallows?
Yeah, they're pretty mealy.
Yeah, they're not great. They're better than Red Delicious, but not
Yeah,
great.
yeah, they're sweeter.
So you can get over it. Yeah, Red Delicious is like bitter and grainy.
Great, it's just
Aren't
We
red
grow that tree on
looks
purpose.
delicious.
Aren't they the ones that are meant for pies?
No, they're meant for nothing.
They're meant for your lunch
They're
pail
decorative, really.
No, I don't think they're even
for
good
grade
pies.
school.
I've never heard anyone cooking with them.
I use the green ones for
Get
pies.
yourself some
don't
Granny,
you?
Granny Smith and
Granny Smith,
Macintosh.
Macintosh, those are
Yeah.
classic pies.
Okay.
Is Cortland for pies?
You could
I think
absolutely.
Cortland's good for pies.
I think all of them work pretty well.
Not. Oh, first ingredient figs.
We won't talk.
For real fig Newtons, though. Look up off-brand.
Hi.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Like-
okay, yeah.
Walmart Newtons.
Oh my
What are they called?
Fig Walmarts.
Yeah. Fig Mart.
I fucking hope it's all apple.
Are figs they're like a Middle Eastern plant indigenously, right?
I think
That's how I
so,
think
yeah.
of them.
It seems like. I
Well,
don't know.
We'll have to
That's
ask
4
one.
out of 5.
We'll have
so.
to ask one of them what is all about. What's up with figs?
yeah. No, yeah. I just found it odd that like everybody knows about them, but they're only in Newtons. They're not used for anything else.
Yeah, I
It's
think
very
they're just in
strange.
the
No, they
Bible.
really. Well, you get
Yeah.
there's dried figs that people buy and eat.
No.
I've never seen them though.
That's what an apricot is.
No, apricots have pits, so like it's similar to the dried apricots,
Okay.
These are figs too.
just
Well-
with a lot of little seeds in it,
Figs the first fruit.
and they're more leathery.
Is there?
They
apple
get
in
a
it?
lot more leathery than
No.
A dried fig does.
dried figs do. Yeah.
What if they
the whole
just
time.
I just make shit up.
what if they just
I
create?
think I lie to myself and trick myself. So is that really lying if I repeat a lie that I accidentally tricked myself into believing?
Then
I
it's
don't
true.
think
I don't
Nope.
think so. I think it passes.
You're
I was
lying. You're
misled.
lying, but you're not a liar.
I was misled by myself.
What he said.
So if they have enough ingredients in that list, then having figs as the first ingredient, you could have
Figs number 1.
it could be number one, but you could have
3%
a very
of
small
it,
amount of fig in there.
I think
You have
Mostly
enough
bread.
stuff
is
in
it
there.
is it law or just standard practice? Oh, I see. If you get enough things,
Enough
if you get 100 things, then it
100
could be
different things.
1.1%
Yeah.
fig.
And then you could save a lot of money if it's a lot of filler.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
more ingredients you put into something,
Like
the
what
money
if
you
you had like a
save.
ton of different kinds of just flour?
But they
or
all have to
something?
be less than 1%.
Yeah.
Well, the thing too,
a
though,
lot
is you
of
look
vitamins. Just throw stuff in there.
couple vitamins.
you look at a package and you look at the ingredients list and you're like, I know that's not the full list of what's in
No,
this.
there's
Like,
Oh, yeah.
this wouldn't add up. Like-
Well, yeah, no. I remember seeing something about how like your like trans fats are like illegal in New York State or whatever, but they're only illegal if they're detectable, and they can only detect half a gram or something per serving or something like that. So you're allowed to have half a, so that like Newton's, like 2 cookies or something is like a serving, so it can, like, most of the fat in there can still be trans fats or something. So no, yeah, they definitely, I feel like they're using weird rules like that a lot.
They do. I know they'll do things like to make things 0 sugar. They'll just cut the serving size down to unreasonable amounts.
That's so ridiculous.
Single serve yogurt, 0 sugar. You gotta eat it in 6 sittings.
You can only lick the lid.
Yeah. Close it back up.
Because I think once something falls below a half of a gram per serving, I don't think they have to list it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can round it down to 0.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Nothing is dangerous at a half a gram or less. There's nothing
cyanide.
That's
like, there's just a half a gram LSD in your fig Newtons.
Yes, fine.
It's not gonna do anything.
It'd be fucking delicious.
Like we don't have to list
Mind
this.
It blew my mind.
They might have a lot of DMT in it.
They might, yeah. So if they put MAOIs in your fig Newtons,
Wow.
yeah,
You might get enough in your water supply.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're getting all kinds of shit.
if you
in there,
chug
right?
enough city water and eat a box of fig Newtons, you could have a DMT trip. Is that what you're saying? I don't know.
Yep.
Could work. Yeah.
Why did they call it tripping?
Science.
Yeah. Is it because you're going somewhere?
Go on a trip.
You're going on a trip, or is it because you're like falling, you're tumbling?
I wonder if the phrase "he be trippin'" came before tripping, and they're like, but the state of mind that represents is perfect for this experience. So let's call this tripping. If you made it this far, you're either insane or asleep at the keyboard. Either way, thanks for the view. If you're actually there, leave a review, like, and subscribe. It helps everything. Just fucking do it. Seriously, just fucking do it. Follow us on Twitter and TikTok. Links are in the description. Join us next month for another ridiculous episode. Skeleton dancing video with music. Skeleton dancing video with music.